To my immediate left here is Missouri coach Brett Halter. We've got North Carolina State coach Lori Hennis. To her left, BYU coach Diljeet Taylor. Then to her left there, Oklahoma State's Dave Smith. And finally, Iowa State's Jeremy Sudbury. We'll start with Coach Halter with an opening statement, and then we'll just move down the line to talk about your team, championships tomorrow, and just reflect on this experience and your expectations. So then we'll open up to the room, to the Zoom for questions. So, Coach Halter, the floor is yours.
Well, welcome to Columbia. We're excited to host. It's been a fun journey. We have a terrific LOC working on your behalf. It's been a collaborative effort across many different entities, and it's been fantastic to watch. So we're thrilled to have the opportunity to experience this course, a course that we designed for this moment. So it's finally here. Really exciting, and again, welcome. We're proud and equally thrilled to have our women's team on the course. It's been a second, so hopefully we can make that a tradition. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lori Hennis from NC State. Like everyone else, really excited to be here and competing here tomorrow. I've been coaching for over 30 years. This is my first time here. It's great to be here. It's a great course, and I think we're really excited to get out there tomorrow.
Diljeet Taylor from BYU, and equally as excited to be here. We were here a month ago at the pre-nats meet and really enjoyed the course, and it's my 10th year at BYU. I've got a great group of strong women and excited to let them showcase their craft in hopefully some tough conditions.
Hey, Dave Smith, just echo everybody else, glad to be here. This is the worst 24 hours of the year for me every year. It's very overweight. I want it to come, I don't want it to come, I want it to be over, I don't want to start it, I want it to, whatever. So just gonna ramble on here for a few minutes to take up some of this 24 hours and not to think so much.
I'm Jeremy Sudbury with Iowa State. It's my 5th year as a head coach and first time at the press conference, so pretty excited about that. It means we're doing well. Excited for the meet. Coach Halter did a great job. Course is unbelievable and really excited. It's very fair. We were also here back in September, and it's a good cross country course, so it should be a lot of fun. Excited. I think it's a great competition this year and should be a heck of a race.
All right, thank you, coaches. We'll take questions here from the media in the room. Okay.
Coach Diljeet, the last time BYU went back-to-back on the women's side, you were setting school records in 800 meters. What would it mean for the Cougars to go back-to-back again this year?
I was really grateful to coach the 2024 team to a national championship. I don't think about back-to-back if I'm being really honest. Every collegiate championship is a new opportunity for a new group of women to see how tough they can be and how well they can race. And again, I control just the 7 women, and probably tomorrow not really control once the gun goes off. But I'm excited to see them chase that opportunity.
First of all, as a Baylor alum, I'm thrilled to see so much Big 12 representation up here. So, but this is for anyone who wants to answer on both the men's and women's side. What tactical approach do you guys expect this year's race to demand, and how does that favor your team's strengths?
That's a great one for you, Lori.
We were talking about conditions earlier, and so I think people talk about how that might change how people are going into it or what you're looking at. I don't think it does for us a whole lot. I think that we, the NCAA meet, it can go out different paces, of course, but it's pretty consistent in what athletes need to do to be successful. So I think those conditions might change, but I think the way the race needs to be approached is pretty similar. And so I don't think it really, I think of course you come with different personnel each time, and so it can be slightly different for sure. But what you need to do to be successful at the end of the day is pretty similar, so I don't think it really changes a whole lot for us. This is a fair course, it's great, and so there's nothing particular about this that would change things drastically, I think, from what we would normally do.
For me, I think I've been reading Let's Run, and Iowa State's going to make this an honest race because he's got a bunch of guys that can really run a 10K, which we are well aware of. He showed us that at the national championships year after year after year. So I'm going to defer to Jeremy, who's going to dictate how the race goes.
Yeah, no, we had a great plan all lined up yesterday. It's completely changed in the last 24 hours. I just came from the course and it's soupy. So it definitely will be, I think, interesting. I think anytime you have weather, it does equal the playing field a little bit, and I think it's an opportunity for maybe some mutters to do really well. I don't know if we have a ton of mutters on our roster, but yeah, we're not going to be shy about it. We want it to be fast, we want it to be hard, and we want to make people hurt.
I think for me that the weather is a randomizer. I used to think that guys on my team would run better in bad weather and guys would run worse. And what I found is it isn't that. It's a random, you just roll a random number into there. And everybody gets affected by it differently. And you can guess and think and sweat about it, but at the end of the day, some kids handle it really well and are excited about it and kind of keep their proverbial shit together, and others don't. And I think that's the key. Is I think what Lori said, you go out and run your race the way you know you can run it and don't worry about it. There's a little random multiplier put in there, but at the end of the day, the best team will win.
Lori and Diljeet, your two programs have combined to win the last 5 national titles. You're ranked number 1 and number 2 again this year. Is there a rivalry there? And for Battle of Champions program in the 2020s?
That's the last one first, your turn. I have a lot of respect for NC State and for what Lori's built there. Over the last, I would say, 5 years, as our recruiting classes have gotten stronger, I see us going up against NC State probably a little bit more frequently. And yeah, it's great company to be in. I wouldn't say, I think there's a rivalry. I wouldn't say it's a negative thing. I think they make us better, and hopefully we push them to also be better. We have lots of conversations. And we're pretty open about kind of what we're trying to do with our programs, which is be 2 female coaches that are kicking trash in the NCAA and having strong women to do it. So that ultimately is our goal, and I think we've done that. We've proven, regardless of what happens on Saturday, November 22 doesn't change what we've already done and the type of women that we're building in our program.
Yeah, I guess I would echo that. I mean, I think we are trying to, do similar things, and I think hopefully we're both doing them at a high level, and so you never know how that works out on the day, but actually hearing that, the fact that we have won those last 5, to have another female coach building a program in a similar way is pretty cool for us both to be able to be as successful as we've been.
And totally different styles. Like, she's so much more calm. I feel like
I don't know if the team is so different, just us, that's just personal.
It's clear they have a lot of respect for each other. I'm not sure on the men's side if all the coaches have the same amount of respect. BYU men's coach Ed Eystone said some coaches have decided to take a shortcut by taking foreign talent. Many are older and developed. I always felt I'd be embarrassed to have 7 foreigners in the team. The NCAA is definitely the way we develop talent in this country. You guys don't have 7 foreigners on the team. I think you guys both have 5 out of your 7 are not from this country. Did you see those comments from Ed, and what do you think of it?
Not in, but I'll say, I have a tremendous respect for everybody in the sport. And in general, I think, track and field and cross country to coaches, I tell this to my administrators all the time. We're not on opposite sides of the field of our competitors yelling insults at each other. We're standing next to each other for days at a time at track meets. We're going out and getting dinner together. We're getting coffee in the morning before the meet starts. It's a very congenial group, and I genuinely like the people I work with. And the people I work with are the people I compete against. Some of my greatest rivalry, Jerry Schumacher might be one of my best friends in the world, and losing to him was the worst thing that could possibly ever happen to me, and I've done it a lot. So, I'm not going to get dragged into throwing shots at each other across the bow about the way we run our programs. I have no problem with anybody running their program within the rules and doing things the way they should be done. If someone doesn't like a rule or doesn't like a situation in the NCAA, don't bitch about it. Go change it. Get involved in the sport, get involved in leadership, and make change the way change is supposed to be made. Otherwise, shut up and coach your team. That's what I think about this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll piggyback on that. I think, everybody has a chance to build a team how they want to. I think if you're doing it within the NCAA rules and the outlines of what we're allowed to do and what's permissible, and, I think my number one in my Rolodex of favorite callers is probably my compliance office. I talk to these guys every day. I've actually wrote a really nice note last year when we got second nationals and said, we don't get second nationals without our compliance office. And I think it's one of those situations where I become a believer in you gotta know where you work and you gotta know what your institution's strengths are. It's no secret Iowa State's had incredible international athletes going back to the 70s, 80s, and at one point we had the world record holder, Yovis Ondiki, first man ever break 27 minutes for 10K. I mean, that guy literally is such a big Iowa State fan. I get a WhatsApp every once in a while rooting us on. So again, not to tap into those alumni and the history and to be naive is something that I think is silly personally, and it's why we've leaned into it and have had great teams that are made up of international athletes, American athletes, transfers, junior college, I mean, pretty much anywhere. If you want to run, you want to be good, we'd love to have you.
I think, just to add on a little bit, it bothers me when we call Brian Ncaa a foreigner, or Alex Mayer an American. It's not, it's Alex Mayer, it's Alex and Brian. And they're guys in the team, they get along, they're friends, they support each other, they root for each other, they go through hell together, they suffer together. Like Brian said, our team was heartbroken last year. And it didn't matter what color their skin was, what language they spoke, or what God they worshiped, or who they loved, or what side of the line they were born on. They were in Stillwater together chasing a common goal. And this idea that we could try to divide people, not to get on my soapbox, but I think that's part of what our problem is in society. We're trying to divide each other into smaller and smaller and smaller pieces of society that will cut against each other. And I don't know. I'm taking up too much of this 24 hours, so I'll shut up.
Gotta go.
Yes, David Wood with Dystat for Coach Taylor. Jane, you talked about having a good recruiting class. Jane obviously has been doing extraordinary things coming off track season. I guess how has it been managing her transition to college? And then, she's such a unique talent. Are things about her that you discovered during this build-up that were a surprise to you?
Yeah, it's been a joy. I don't assume ever when an athlete is making the transition from the high school level to the collegiate level that there's going to be just this easy next step. Nothing's really given. Same as when a high-end collegiate athlete goes into the pro ranks, sometimes that transition isn't seamless. And so I didn't have a ton of expectations. What I've learned is there's a lot I don't know of what she's going to be able to do, because I'm thoroughly impressed, not so much by the talent, but by the intentionality of how she approaches this craft of hers. And it's inspiring, it's inspired our team. And so yeah, I'm excited for, the next however long we have together to help her showcase that craft and do it in a healthy, sustainable way, ultimately preparing her for her next step in whatever that looks like for her professional career post-collegiately.
Time for a few more in here.
Question for Coach Halter. Obviously, Mizzou women are in the national championship for the first time in a little bit. What is the expectation for your team, and how are you looking for them to compete in a field of incredibly talented women?
Yeah, so Coach Livermore, Coach Duca, Coach Anderson, and Akeem have done a terrific job getting women ready. It's a young team, so the experience here in the home course is really important as we continue to build, trying to normalize being at the championship, we've talked about it. We're not going to set the bar super high, but we're not here just to have fun and compete. You're just have fun and race the day, you know what I mean? So we're going to take a shot at the top 25. And I think that's a realistic goal. I think the women, if they run up to their capacity, that's a real attainable goal. Thank you.
question for Jeremy. Earlier this season, you had to suspend a few athletes from your team. I'm wondering if you can offer any more details about what exactly happened there, or give us any sort of update. And do you think that casts a shadow at all on anything you might accomplish tomorrow?
Yeah, no, I appreciate the question. Again, I think it was a really unfortunate situation. Something that has been something that first time happened in my career, that you have to suspend an athlete or send athletes during an actual active season. I did talk to my administration and everybody before actually this press conference just to kind of see if there's any other updates. At this point, I'm still being instructed to kind of say, look, there's team rules that were broken. We've suspended them. They're suspended indefinitely. And hopefully we'll have an update at some point in the near future, but at least for the time being, they're still suspended and it's team rules.
This one is for both Coach Dave and Coach Jeremy. So we got to hear the women's side. They have a little rivalry going. Y'all two have raced each other at y'all last two meets, both at the conference and regional level. How have you guys been able to learn from the competition aspect of going against two very talented teams back to back?
Yeah, so this goes back to 2009. I ran at the University of Oklahoma. Actually got two of my teammates up there. We've clashed with Dave at Oklahoma State for years. It's actually been an incredible rivalry. We've gotten beaten up probably more than we've had a chance to punch back. But I'd say the last 5 years when I've actually been in charge and had a chance to really cultivate that, it's kind of interesting. I always kind of in my head had created this image that Oklahoma State was kind of the bad guys and we were the good guys and we were to try to take them down. And then actually after one meet, kind of the point I think Lori and Diljeet made is I actually talked to some of their guys and they're like the nicest, coolest, just really laid back, nice guys, and just it was like one of those things like, oh wow, like we create this image in our head of you want to beat somebody, but at the same time they're actually really good guys. I mean, Brian's like the nicest guy ever. And so again, I think yes, there's no doubt about it. We want to beat Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma State wants to beat us. It's been fun to be able to run against them, and we're excited because I think what we saw at conference was a big wake-up call for us. I think that might have been, in my opinion, one of the single greatest races I've ever seen from a team. I mean, Oklahoma State was unbelievable. I mean, for anybody that was there, that move after 5K was frightening. And so now that we get to go to 10K, it's been allowing us to kind of regroup, figure out how we can combat that, and hopefully put our best foot out there on Saturday. So.
Yeah, I think from my perspective, very, very similar to Jeremy. I love to have someone to hate, and so I always got someone out there. I'm a rage motivated person. So I always got I just said we shouldn't divide people. The reason we shouldn't divide people is now I find out who I need to hate. And so we had NAU as the team to go after for a while, and they were the big bad lumberjacks, and they got this and they got that, and we got to go find a way to beat them. And now it was BYU last year, and now Jeremy's got a team assembled that is incredibly deep or incredibly talented, especially through the top 5. And but at the end of the day, like I said, we sit and have dinner together. We have a beer sometimes at the end of a track meet. We're colleagues, we're collegiate. It's a collegial environment, and I like these people. They're my friends, and I told someone this, that it's way worse to lose your friends than it is to lose your enemies. And I think that's true. And I think the familiarity, the friendships. I would love to beat Diljeet. I mean, she's come in and won the first 2 conference titles. And I can't, shut up. This is my turn. I can't tell you.
Back to back to back.
I can't tell you the knife that put in my soul. It does. Every time she goes against another twist. And, damn, you gotta get past BYU. But I talk to Diljeet several times a week on the phone. At the same time, I want to strangle her. It's the way life is.
The feeling's mutual.
We have time for 2 more in here, and then we'll go to Zoom.
Question for Diljeet. There's a rumor that Jane closed her workout or ran a 4:27.
Who is talking about our workouts? Who is talking about it?
Well,
I cannot confirm nor deny. I don't like to talk about workouts, but she's done some really impressive things.
Okay, fair enough. But do you think that, is it any different for her from a mental standpoint than in the past? I mean, we asked her this, like, last year she was winning races by a lot. This year she's winning races a lot. Is it the same pressure for her, or does it feel bigger for her because it's college? Like, do you feel, is there any worry that, she wakes up tomorrow and this is just too big for her from a mental standpoint?
I can't answer that because I'm not her, but this is what I will say. She is someone that races with the right mindset and practices with the right mindset. And confidence doesn't magically appear on race day, guys. It's found and built in the preparation. And the way that the preparation and the build has happened this fall should give her the utmost confidence. She should jump out of bed tomorrow morning and be so excited to get on the starting line, because that's how I feel as her coach. And that's not outcome driven. The build has proven that we can run really hard in the race, and we can do those hard things because of what we've done the last couple months in practice. So letting go of the outcome, I think, is the biggest thing, and keeping a little bit of a chip on your shoulder. I think when things go really well, you start losing the chip on your shoulder, and it sometimes becomes weight on your chest. And it's really important to keep that chip on your shoulder at all times, and she has that. I don't have to put it there. She naturally has a built-in chip on her shoulder.
Okay, we are going to wrap it up here with any questions we have on Zoom.
After James' performance last week, I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw a comment from the Rock, the student section at BYU, and I quote, "Build the Jane statue already." Given the success that you guys have had this year, football has had a great year as a whole, basketball's got the #1 player in the class of 2025, just put in perspective, Jane's influence, not only on the university and the students, but for the entire cross-country landscape and what she's been able to do this year.
Yeah, very inspirational, especially for other young girls in sport. I think that's one of the things that is going to be a big takeaway from what she's been able to do, not just in high school, but also at this collegiate level. And then equal that with the excitement and the great momentum that's happening with BYU athletics, with our football program, our basketball program. Soccer is in the NCAA tournament. They're playing tonight at Stanford. Volleyball's got a good, we just have some great things happening. And a lot of those teams are led by very talented freshmen. And that's an exciting time and for her to be a part of.
Thank you, Coach. Any other questions on Zoom?
Hey, for Coach Halter, after 15 years from this going from a dream to reality, this course and now the national championships here, what have your thoughts and feelings been like this week, or what do you imagine those will be like tomorrow?
A little surreal. Let's go. Let's go have some fun. Let's line it up. Can't wait to be done.
Any other questions on Zoom? All right, that wraps things up. Thank you, Coach.